Hello and welcome back to OK Karma, where I share with you some of the best stories that I find online, and they are always read to you by an actual human being. Today we're going to be revisiting the Am I the Asshole subreddit and starting with a story titled Am I the Asshole for Kicking My Husband's Family Out of My Home During Family Dinner by PhysicalPin243. And it says, I've been with my husband for 8 years. We have a 2-year-old daughter together. So for the first 6 years of our relationship, my husband could not hold a job down to save his life. It truly did not bother me the way that some people would think. I was in the medical field, I made very good money, and he didn't ask for much. He was also very good to me, so zero issues, but it was linked to untreated ADHD and depression. During these 6 years, I was paying all of our bills, and as much as I'd hate to put it out there, I was all but supporting his family as well. His sister and brother specifically, whom are both older than me and my husband by 4+ years, and while less frequent, his mom. During those 6 years, I had given these people right around $50,000, money for mortgage payments and car payments and food and sports fees for their children, etc. It adds up super quick. Never once did I ever ask for repayment. It didn't actually bother me until the end of year 6 when my mother-in-law showed up on my doorstep for a drop-in family meeting and told me that, quote, the whole family needed to chip in for one of the other family's lawyer fees. And after I generously hand over $3,000, I found out that I was the only one who actually contributed. That was a gut punch and was absolutely the last straw. I haven't given any of them a dime since, but again, it didn't bother me until that point, and I instantly took care of it and said no more. My husband was fully on my side. He told me to stop helping them prior, but I absolutely got pushback from the family. Around this time, I found out that I was also 6 months pregnant. So fast forward, my husband gets on meds for ADHD, gets fully involved in therapy, went for his trucking license, and has been working steady since I was roughly 8 months pregnant. He's only missed one shift, the day I went into labor, and is doing kick-ass. Meds were an absolute game changer. Stay-at-home mom ever since. My husband makes around 4 times more than I was making at the hospital as well. Here's the problem. My husband refuses to help his family out financially, and for whatever reason, it's just been brought to my attention that I'm being blamed for it. We had his entire family over for dinner, and this is the first time we've been around the entire group in 2 years. They don't even call anymore. We hosted dinner, everything was going well, but then my mother-in-law asked me when I was planning to return to work. I said I had no plan to until my daughter was in school. She said something like, "That simply doesn't work." I questioned what she meant. Her and my sister-in-law both go into how they feel it isn't fair to my husband that I have no income and roughly beat around the bush about me, quote, not helping financially the way that I used to, and they can no longer depend on family for help, which was their way of saying that their cash cow is gone and it bothers them. I reminded them that I contributed to their life for 6 years, totaling around $50,000, and I did more than my fair share. Mother-in-law then tells me that she has, quote, paid back more than that because she brought me old expired food bank food on several occasions, which we told her not to do, and brought over her old partially broken 1930s furniture for us to have, which again, we told her not to do. I told her that in no way was that repayment. On her alone, I had given over $8,000. Anyways, the argument escalated to mainly my mother-in-law saying that it's unfair to my husband that I'm contributing nothing to the household. I argued that I supported him and his entire family for 6 years. She said, "Surely he's paid you back. You haven't done anything in 2 years." So I snapped and said that paying rent for 2 years with zero financial contribution exceeding basics is in no way paying me back, when he shouldn't have to because he wasn't the one using me financially, is not repayment, and told everyone to, quote, get the F out. It's important to note that my husband was not home for this. He had actually run to the store to get more of something that we ran out of. So he wasn't present, or he would have stepped in. But after some back and forth and me just repeating to get out and them refusing, I said I was going to call the cops. They finally started leaving. I tell them they aren't welcome back here and that we will be going no contact. They were gone by the time my husband got back home. When I told him what had happened, he went really quiet. He apologized for what they said and did while he was gone, but also tried justifying it, saying that they likely just meant that they thought I should be working too to help him with bills. I asked why he was trying to downplay this, and he said, because everyone knows that households can't survive on one income in 2026, and said something about how he could work less hours and spend more time with our kid if I got a job too. He works 50 hours a week and is always home before 5 p.m. Keep in mind, he makes $140,000 a year, and all of our expenses do not even exceed $4,000 monthly. This dude has a savings account of almost $200K. We aren't hurting for money at all. I can't speak to him right now. I'm absolutely disgusted with this entire situation. I need validation or clarification that I'm not in the wrong here. Fluffy Special 8510 in the comments says, the only part that would bother me is your husband going quiet and low-key defending it. That's the real conversation. His family disrespecting you is one thing. Him softening it after you carried everyone for years? Yeah, no. Comfortable Detail 1 responded and said, I have a feeling OP's husband was asked for money on several occasions and probably threw them under the bus to get out of it. This is a very big husband problem. Different Idea 8203 commented and said, not the asshole, but have you seen all of your financial documents? I've been around Reddit long enough to notice a pattern of spouses moving or hiding money. His reaction is suspicious. And Random Reddit 9791 says, now that he's working, the family can no longer survive on one income? How did you survive the 6 years that you were the only one working? It sounds like your husband might be part of the problem. Yeah, this one is interesting. I mean, I definitely don't think the original poster is the asshole in any way, because at the end of the day, she or her husband are not responsible for taking care of these people financially, even if they are his family and have become accustomed to that extra income. They should have probably been using that time with the extra money to secure their own sources of income, knowing that it wouldn't last forever, right? Especially considering many of them are grown adults. Our next story is titled AITA for telling my girlfriend to stop sharing her food by Phantom Detective 3548. And this is a rare one because we might have one here where the original poster might actually be the asshole. And it says, my girlfriend always offers to share her food with everyone when we go out to eat. I've asked her why she does this, and she says it's just how she was raised, to always make sure that everyone else at the table is taken care of before she eats anything. I've told her multiple times that while it is an admirable gesture, she doesn't have to do that, and that nobody will judge her for not offering her food because they have their own meals. This isn't just with shareable items either. She'll offer bites of her burgers or pasta or soup and other things that are simply not easy to split, usually ending up with another person taking direct bites or stabbing their used forks and depositing their saliva into her food. Aside from the ick factor, I've also told her that she really needs to avoid offering her meals when we dine out with my friend Brian, fake name, because he's the type of person who has no self-control with food and zero social awareness to understand that help yourself doesn't necessarily mean you can eat all of this and I won't mind. This has happened a lot in the past where he'll house 90% of a shared appetizer plate because the rest of us were talking and being polite, and he just assumed that meant we weren't hungry. I wouldn't care as much if he paid for it, but he's almost always broke, and he doesn't seem to understand what taxes and tips are. If the item was listed as $11.99 on the menu, when the check comes, he'll toss in exactly $12 and think that he's square. I know most of you are going to ask why I'm even still friends with Brian if I hate eating with him, but please understand that he's a really great guy and a reliable friend. He just has a troublesome relationship with food. That's not the only facet of his personality, just the only one relevant to this post. Last night, we were out again with friends, and my girlfriend once again offered her meal to everyone, Brian included. I didn't want to make a scene, but I gave her a little nudge, and she just gave me a shrug in return. Unsurprisingly, Brian ended up eating most of her food, as well as his own plate, and my girlfriend didn't say anything. On the way home, she asked if we could stop by a fast food place because she didn't get enough to eat, and I told her she should have just eaten the food that she ordered instead of offering it to the table. I said this was exactly why I warned her, in that she's seen the way Brian is with food, and that she shouldn't have been surprised when he ate more than she was actually intending to let him have. I still stopped to get her something, but I also complained that I don't enjoy paying for Brian's meals since he basically ate all of hers. I might have been harsh, but this has come up multiple times, and she knows I'm not a fan of it. I could tell she was upset when I said it, and she still is now. She hasn't called me an asshole, but she's making me feel like one, and I think we're both expecting the other one to apologize first. So, am I the asshole? And the comments were pretty torn on this one. I mean, the first comment from IDK Are You Sure says, "You're the asshole. It only takes 2 seconds to say, quote, Jesus, Brian, she said try." And somebody responded to that and said, if the GF can find her voice and say that she wants them to stop at the fast food place on the way back, she can find the voice to tell Brian to only take a small portion, or maybe not offer the food at all in the first place. Why does everyone in this thread expect her man to speak for her? Even if we exclude OP from the picture, the grand problem still exists. The GF will be paying twice every time she goes out to eat with somebody that if she wants to not be hungry. Pink and Green Fluoride also says, you're the asshole. You make every excuse under the sun for Brian's relationship with food, but expect your girlfriend to have her own issues around food 100% under control and to be responsible for managing Brian's on top of it? That's bullshit. No shit she's expecting you to apologize. You've been terribly unfair to her. Have you talked to Brian about how he should decline when she offers because of her problematic relationship with food, which is apparently tied up in having been raised to take care of everyone else before herself? You're judging and criticizing her for not having completely worked all of that out while putting the exact same stuff on her, making her responsible for Brian, but you don't hold him to the same standard? But Wife's Posh says, not the asshole, and I think the a-hole calls are a bit harsh. She literally let someone else eat her food to the point of needing to get fast food. I will stab you with my fork before I allow that to happen. OP is right. She needs to stop offering her food to everyone to the point that she doesn't get to eat. Brian is still a problem. You think he doesn't know what he's doing? He's being an opportunistic freak and no one is saying anything. I'd say you're not the asshole, but Brian is not a good person. You need to change that mindset on your boy because I'm getting a warning for what I was about to call Brian, but you get my point. Okay, interesting. It's rare to see one so split like this, and I think it does probably fall somewhere in the middle. The girlfriend was raised to give to others before herself and doesn't complain about it. That's extremely admirable. It really is. But also, you're an adult who needs to eat and stuff, and so is everyone else there. So it is also on them to make sure they get enough to eat. I think the OP was coming from a good place and was worried that maybe his girlfriend was getting taken advantage of. Both parties mean well. Next time, just order some mozzarella sticks or something and share those. And our last story is called, Am I the Asshole for Causing a Scene at My Boyfriend's Work by Training Buyer 2625. And it says, I, 22 female, and my boyfriend, 23 male, were going to a dinner in a restaurant that he works at as a pastry chef. I ordered a Caesar tortilla and after 45 minutes of waiting, received a Caesar salad. I said to him that that wasn't what I ordered, and he told me to wait and that he would go to the kitchen and make me a tortilla. After a few minutes, he came back with the plate. It was just the previously made salad stuffed into a tortilla. The crispy breadcrumbs from the salad were still inside. I told him that I wasn't going to eat that because it's not what I ordered. He told me that that's basically the same thing and that I should just eat it. But it's not the same thing. I especially wanted the tortilla because of the crispy bacon and the cheese that melts inside. But in the salad, there was just thin slices that I don't even like the taste of. He told me that the kitchen was going to close soon. When I ordered, it was 9 p.m. and the kitchen closes at 11 and the restaurant at 12. And that I should just eat it because I was complaining for the last 3 or 4 hours that I was starving. I told him that that's not the point and that we could just go somewhere else to eat. He ended up telling his colleague, the waitress, to take it off the bill, and we went to a fast food place to eat. He ended up getting mad because I caused a scene and made him ashamed in front of his colleagues. Mind you, I'm the quiet type, so I just told him I wasn't going to eat it, and then he talked to his colleagues. So am I the asshole for not eating something that I didn't order? And then they actually added an edit for a little more context that says, it went down like this. I told the waitress, excuse me, but I've ordered the tortilla. She seemed annoyed, but said, oh, okay, we'll make it. My boyfriend then told me to wait and went down there to make me a tortilla. When he came back with the dish, I told him that I didn't want to eat the salad stuffed in the tortilla and that it isn't important anymore, that we could just go anywhere else to eat. In a normal tone, I wasn't mad, just hungry. He told me, just eat it. I refused. He then called the waitress and told her to take it off the bill. We left and ate somewhere else. He told me that I embarrassed him because him telling his colleague to take it off the bill is, quote, causing a scene. That's the whole story. He had been working there for a few months and he got the job because my dad's good friend is the co-owner. Macaroni in the comments says, not the asshole, and he shouldn't have gone into the kitchen himself to remake it, especially given his thing is pastries. Mix-ups happen in restaurants and they know how to handle them. All you have to do is say something like, I'm sorry, their Seems to have been a mix-up. I ordered ABC and this is XYZ. The server would have taken it back and brought out the correct thing, and everybody would have forgotten about it 5 minutes later. Seems like your boyfriend was so obsessed with you not making a scene that he ended up making one himself. Thundernuts also says, not the asshole. It always shocks me when restaurant staff get upset when you insist that you get what they're going to ask you to pay for. This could have been avoided if the restaurant simply provided adequate service and the correct item. Him stepping in to make it right didn't help things at all. I'm guessing he didn't want to be, quote, that customer at a restaurant in which he works. Having years of experience in the past in food service, I found out fast that it's never a great idea to patronize the place that you work. And I Burnt Your Toast says, I've worked in restaurants for over a decade, which is kind of funny because his name is I Burnt Your Toast. Sorry. There's a lot of things wrong here. Your boyfriend seems pretty new to working in restaurants. I'm guessing he's fairly recently out of pastry school and working his first restaurant job. Typically, if one eats at the place that they work, they come by when they know business is slow, not right at the peak or before they close, which is what sounds like happened here. Usually you're treated like a VIP, unless they're extremely busy, but sometimes mistakes happen. You tell the server, they fix it, and maybe you tease someone playfully about it next time you're at work. You never, ever go back to the kitchen to do it yourself. I would throw my cooks out if they did anything like that. When you're a guest, period. And to half-ass wrap up a salad in a tortilla when we could have just remade what was ordered, I would be livid as the chef. And to feel embarrassed about you, quote, making a scene when his street clothes wearing ass came back in the kitchen, got in everyone's way to make some shitty fix to a dish right before we're closing? Oh man, not the asshole. Oh man. These ones were good today. As always, if you guys enjoyed my readings of these stories and would like to hear more, please just make sure to like the video, subscribe if you haven't already, and let me know what you think in the comments below. Thank you guys for all the support recently, and we'll see you in the next one.